back. It's been a minute, but I'm back with another speed build, so I hope you've got yourself a blanket, a snack, a drink, get comfy, and let's get into it. So in today's video, I'm doing just a tiny little build, nothing crazy in the world of Windenburg on the island, where usually there's a lot of modern houses, but I was really in the mood to build some kind of whimsical cottage, I guess. I was thinking this is maybe like a witch or some kind of nymph that lives here. It's not crazy magical, but there's like hints of it. Or it's just someone who likes to live off the grid. But I did base it off of a photo that I found on Pinterest, so I will find the photo and put it up on the screen for you. And then there's also a couple photos that I was looking at when I was doing the interior, but I'll put those up when we get to it. But it has been a minute since I last posted a video, so I kind of want to fill you guys in and tell you what's going on. So I'm going to overshare a little bit, hopefully you don't mind. But pretty much I was wrapping up the end of the first part of my second semester, if that makes any sort of sense. So I had projects and projects and projects because reading week was coming up. So I was crazy busy with those, and then when my reading week did start, I was planning on filming lots of videos, doing recordings so I could have some stuff to post as the school year continued because it was finally my break. But then on Monday, I ended up having to go to the hospital because I had to get my appendix removed. I was feeling so normal, completely fine on Sunday. And then I woke up Monday morning with a really bad stomach ache, and I was like, something doesn't feel quite right. And it wasn't going away at all. It just kept getting worse and worse. And so finally, my mom and I were like, okay, maybe I should head to the hospital. And so I did. And they did some tests, ultrasounds, blood work, the whole shebang. And then I basically went straight into surgery after all the tests had been done. It was a pretty fast process, all things considered. I still was there for like a day and a bit. About 24 hours, but surgery was on Monday for me, and as I'm recording this, it's a Saturday, so I am still recovering. It's been a bit of a slow process. Movement is limited, and so I've just been trying to take it slow and easy. And after I was at the hospital, I was at my house for a couple of days, and I didn't have my computer or anything, so I couldn't record videos or builds or anything like that. So I finally got back to my dorm, and I've been trying to do some stuff, but you know, I did just have surgery like 5 days ago now, so I'm not working my best right now. But all of that's to say is I was supposed to have a lot of videos ready to post, but I didn't because I had to go to the hospital. So not the way I envisioned my reading week, but here we are, nothing I can do about it. What I'm most bummed about is that I was finally starting to enjoy painting because I'm going to school for illustration, and painting is one of my classes, and I am not good at it. It is such a weakness of mine, but I was painting on my own time, and I was really starting to like how things were coming out, and I was so excited to paint all throughout this week, and then I was in the hospital, and I do not have the energy to paint. I can't even stand at my easel really without feeling a bit of pain, so yeah, my whole plan was kind of thrown off, but I'm happy that I've at least gotten one video ready to put out. So I think this will be out tomorrow, because at the time I'm recording this, I think it's going to be a little late to publish. But anyways, I've done enough rambling about my personal life. I just wanted to let you guys know that I haven't given up on the channel. It's just been a bit of a period in my life. But I'm back, and the week after reading week shouldn't be too busy, so hopefully I can still get some more videos out, but we will see. But on to the build finally. So you can see that pretty much the exterior has come together now. I did build it all on the lot beforehand, and then I bulldozed it after I took screenshots and then just recreated it so it would be way easier for you guys to follow, because otherwise there was so much flipping back and forth and indecision. So I just wanted to make it a little easier to follow for you guys. There is some things that I cut out in terms of landscaping, but only because I put a lot of trees on the lot, and I didn't really think of how that would inhibit like you guys from being able to see what I was doing. So a lot of the footage was kind of unusable. You can see now that I just cut to all the trees being placed. I didn't record this because I was doing a lot of scrolling through the debug menu to find which trees match the environment and such. But I used kind of a whole mix. I used some cottage living, get together, I think one island living tree. I actually used a lot of island living stuff, surprisingly, like the windows, and you'll see later some vines, and then like this bush and stuff. I don't know. Oh, and the door. I don't know what it was, but something about it was giving the vibes that I wanted it to give, especially with the windows because they're open. And I was just thinking that this is a coastal lot, so I was just thinking of how nice the breeze would be and the fresh air, so I couldn't resist. And I felt like it just suited the kind of sim that I imagined living here. I didn't come up with a backstory for them or anything, just they're a little whimsical being, I guess, or even if they're not actually magical, they just enjoy nature, and I guess I'm gonna go with living off the land. I didn't put anything in here that I thought could be bought from a store per se in terms of products. Like I was gonna put some laundry detergent in the buckets and all of that, and then I was like, I feel like the sim makes everything themselves, so laundry detergent that you could buy from the superstore is probably not something they would have, because I wasn't really sure if they were actually magical or just resourceful, I suppose. But these are the vines from Island Living that I was talking about. When I placed the little balcony on the front of the house on the top level, which you can kind of see now, it's from Cottage Living. Those little red flowers sparked the whole vision that I had. When I put that on, I knew immediately I wanted to go with red. I don't know what it was, but they were so vibrant and just popped, and I really liked how they looked with the green. Everything just looked really lush and vibrant, so I decided to keep them. I mean, red and green are complementary colors, so they do look good together. And I really liked in this scenario that it didn't look Christmassy, it just looked vibrant and like the plants were living. And so yeah, I kind of picked red as my main color for the exterior and just found some landscaping that had red elements and then also some white as well, but mainly red and green were what I was focusing on. And it's kind of just this overgrown lot. There's not much happening in the yard. It's just a lot of nature elements. Honestly, there's not that many activities in this build. I can't even lie. I wasn't really thinking in terms of gameplay. I was more just going for the kind of feel that I had imagined when I was going into this. I think maybe the only activity in here is an easel. I didn't even put a computer or a TV or anything because I was just imagining that they're not connected to electricity. It's an old cottage, so they don't have electricity. There is ceiling lights, but I made them really small, so you can't really tell. There is a phonograph or music player, and yeah, that's really kind of it in terms of activities. Maybe I'll go in and add in a flower arranging table and a beehive. I feel like those could be some good activities. Maybe some planters as well. But it's just because there's a lot of terrain that I wasn't really sure how the items would function on it. I do still need to go through and play test it, but I will make sure everything functions properly when I upload it to the gallery, because it will be on the gallery when this is uploaded, and everything should work fine when it is uploaded. But now we have moved on into the inside. The inside's really small, it's really simple, it's pretty open concept. I really like how the interior came out because it's very cluttered and cozy and cottagey, and I liked how I did the floor plan because honestly I've never done something like this. There isn't really a living room. Most of it's designated to the kitchen. There's a tiny little dining room in the entranceway, and then there's like a sofa and a chair, but no strict living room. One thing I do wish I could have included was a fireplace, but I didn't have the space for it. Honestly, I feel like I didn't have enough wall space. Maybe because the windows were taking up whatever minimal wall space I did have, but I feel like I was a little restricted in terms of the objects I could put. but this is the bathroom. I did all the flooring and wallpaper off camera because I'm indecisive, and it would have been so much footage of me just going back and forth between the same 5 wallpapers and floorings. So I did that off camera, but you can see that I was trying to explore a little bit with the wallpapers in the bathroom and stuff. I'm not entirely sure that this sink and mirror match, I guess, the disheveled, or I'm not sure disheveled's the word I want to use, but I guess homey rustic kind of feel. I think when I was putting this in, I was imagining more of the magical whimsical element that I was thinking of. So it's a little bit all over the place, but I do still think that it works. So I'm just adding some clutter and things like that. And then these fish, I use them a lot actually. By a lot, I mean twice. But I've never used them before. I use it on the outside and then on the inside above the stove. I feel like when I use it above the stove, they look like hanging cloves of garlic, kind of, if you squint. So I just liked the energy it was giving in the kitchen, so I kept them in there. But now I've jumped back on out to the outside, adding a couple more little details, like this little well watering station and this bike. I just felt like the yard was missing some items. And then now I'm back on the inside. It's a little flip-floppy, this video, so I do apologize, but hopefully it's easy enough to follow. But I'm just going in and cluttering up the entranceway. There's not much going on in here, again, in terms of activities. It's all pretty much just decoration. But one thing I did want to talk about, though, is with my appendix being out and all, I have had such a, I don't want to say sad week, because I haven't been sad, but I haven't been able to watch anything funny because I cannot laugh without feeling extreme amounts of pain in my stomach because of where the incisions are. Like, any laughing, coughing, sneezing are the most painful things I've ever experienced because like all the pressure gets pushed onto where the incisions are. So I haven't been able to watch half of the YouTubers I usually do or half of the shows I usually want to watch. I've just been binging Scandal because it's not a very funny show. It's pretty serious, crime, murder, all of that. And so that's kind of all I've been able to watch because that's all my stomach can handle, which is rather unfortunate. And one thing I didn't mention about like why my month was so hectic is the week before I got my appendix removed, I was really sick. It wasn't COVID or anything, but it was a really bad cold and I had to miss a couple of my classes and I was falling behind with work. So it was just a whole mess this month. But it's March and we're starting fresh and my birthday is in about 2 weeks. I don't have any plans. I'm not quite looking forward to it, but I think once I have some plans, I'll feel excited about it. But again, enough rambling about my personal life. We have moved on into the kitchen now, and I am obsessed with this kitchen. I will put up the photos of the reference I was using now for the kind of feel that I wanted. I really liked that all the wood tones matched for this, like the dish hutch, the bookshelf, and the fridge. I was really happy that they all matched because they look like built-ins. And then what I was most excited about for this build was doing the stove because I really wanted to do one of those wood ovens. Is that what they're called? Hopefully you know what I mean. You'll be able to see it in the picture. But like the wood stoves where, you know, you heat it via wood and then it goes out through the pipe. I'm not explaining that well, but you get the idea. And it actually is functional. I know, it's crazy. I was so happy when I got it to be functional because it just, the position of it, it kind of acts as the fireplace, but it's also the stove, and it's just everything about it I love. I'm so happy with it. So I used a base game stove, can't remember the name of it, but it's one of the old looking ones with the wood on the bottom. And then I used this, I think it's just like a flagpole, but without the flag from, I believe, Cats and Dogs. It's just a debug item, but it works perfectly as the exhaust pipe. I don't know if that's what it's called, but that's what I'm gonna call it. But it worked perfectly, and I was so happy with it, and I really like it being tucked into this little nook because it's like a little little cooking nook. It's so cute, and I love how cluttered I made the shelves, which you can see I'm doing now. I added a bunch of fruits, pots, pans on the window actually, and then there's like jars, cups, utensils, baking supplies, books, all of that on the shelves. Just really cluttered it to the max, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I'm just so happy with how the kitchen came out. And I almost forgot to put a sink in here. I had this counter because I was like, oh, your Sims have to cook on something. And then I realized I needed a sink. So I end up putting a sink from Laundry Day in where that counter is now. And then I put a dining table for your Sims to cook on, which I just love. I can't get over. I'm so happy with this build, pretty much. Yeah, so this is the island living dining table, and I felt like it just looked so perfect in here. And I just love how crammed everything is. There's minimal space. Your sim can still move around and access the kitchen and stuff. I did test that part already. I just have to test the rest of the build. But it's so cozy and it's so cute, and I'm really happy about it. In case you can tell, you can kind of see now, or at least you could have, the fish that kind of look like garlic cloves hanging. I'm really pushing it with that, but I just, when I put them there, it's what the space needed. And so again, I'm just going around and cluttering up pretty much every surface possible. I'm using the OMSP shelf, which is a piece of CC that helps you place items instead of using the 9 and 0 key. When this is uploaded to the gallery, you don't need any CC for it, because the shelf doesn't stay in the build. I take it out, and so you don't need any CC or anything like that. But I did use the tool mod as well, but again, you don't need that. That's just to help my building process. But when you download it off of the gallery, you don't need anything else except for the DLC packs that I use, which I did use quite a few. I didn't give myself any restrictions. I just wanted to have fun because I haven't played in a while, haven't done many builds recently because it's been crazy busy. But this was a really nice build to come back and do, and I'm really happy with both the exterior and the interior. I feel like usually when I do builds, interiors are not all that fun to me. Sometimes I love them, but a lot of the times it feels like a chore, to be honest. I just love doing exteriors. I don't know what it is. I just find it way more fun than interiors. But I did have fun with this interior, which is why I think I'm so happy with how the build came out. I've kind of talked over all the objects I've been using and the packs and stuff, so I do apologize for that, but I'll try and name them off the top of my head right now. I think what I used a lot was Laundry Day, Island Living, Cottage Living, and some cats and dogs stuff. I know these rugs are cats and dogs, except for the one in the center that's the floral shape. But I'm trying to think if there's... I used some small items from other packs, but I think those are the biggest ones. I was gonna try and use this Desert Luxe sofa, but it wasn't quite working how I wanted it to. I don't know, it wasn't cottagey enough for me, so I do end up switching it. At least I think I do. Maybe I don't. Wait. You know what, now that I'm thinking of it, I think I keep it. But I think I was struggling with its placement at the start of the recording. Okay, that's embarrassing. So I do end up keeping it. Now I'm feeling like I should go in and change the sofa because I didn't even think I kept it. I feel like I liked it because it was low sitting, and so you could see more of the windows. But now that I think about it, I feel like maybe a sofa from Cats and Dogs, or even a base game one we have, one of those plush 3-seaters, or just one with more pillows. I might change it before I upload it, honestly, because now that I'm looking back at it, I'm not sure I'm in love with it, but we'll see. But now I've moved on into the last room in this house, which is the bedroom. So I did use a photo for this. I didn't replicate it to a T. I was more going for the mood that I found in the photo because it was this really cute, I think it was coastal attic bedroom, but just the lighting and the furniture and all of that was so cute. So I was trying to replicate the mood pretty much. So I use this bed from Cats and Dogs. I really love using this bed in any build I do that's kind of cottagey or old-timey, just because of the quilted bedding. It's so cute. I love it. And then I use this Cats and Dogs desk and chair. And then here's the easel. I move it to a place where it's actually functionable, but that's pretty much the only activity in said build. You can easily add in a TV or a computer. I just didn't really want any technology in this build because I didn't think it matched very well. But it's easy to substitute things in. And so I'm doing some layered rugs here. I'm using this laundry day one and then this really fuzzy furry one from, I think, City Living, because in the photo there was a fuzzy rug and I really liked what it added. One thing I'm really sad about is in the photo there's this beautiful lace curtain covering the window, but we don't have anything like that in The Sims, which is really sad to think about. And I'm very upset about it, but I made do. And then I added this shelf with a bunch of candles, and these candle leaf items are from Seasons. But I really liked how the shelf looked underneath that window. I thought it looked so cute. I couldn't get the is arch the right word? Slanted ceilings in the bedroom like the photo has, so I was just kind of trying to make it feel a little bit more enclosed, I guess, by adding more things on the walls. And I was really happy with how it came out, even though I couldn't get the slanted walls. But there's gonna be a couple more decorations. I'm gonna add some more laundry day stuff. I had this shelf, which again I kind of nestled underneath the window, and I really liked how that looked. And then I'm just doing a bunch of little tweaks and stuff, and I put in this laundry basket. But I realize now that I didn't put in a clothesline or a wash basin or a washer or dryer, basically anything that makes it usable, so your Sims are just gonna have a bunch of laundry pile up and they're not gonna be able to do anything with it. So you can either get rid of it or add in some of the laundry day items. I wasn't really thinking, but then I was already so far in the build, I was like, there's nowhere to put anything to actually wash or dry your clothes. So I just left it. I figured it's such a small item, like it wouldn't really matter if you got rid of it, but I just kind of liked how it filled in the space there. But it's completely up to you what you want to do with it. But yeah, I'm just going in and adding the final touches now. I'm gonna clutter up the desk, this little nook. The desk, there isn't really anything going on that's usable. It's all just decorative items, some books. I use these, I don't know how you unlock these, but they're little tomes. You can see them now that are on the desk. But that is it for the video. We're going to be moving on to the screenshots very soon, so I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching and listening to me ramble about my personal life. If you have any suggestions or things you want to see me build, you can leave it in the comments below. This build will be on the gallery, and my origin ID is in the description. So have a lovely rest of your day, and hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye guys!